in the Republic. Let's start there, Eoghan, because a lot of people will be saying, Portugal has gone to the amber list here. Where is it as far as the Republic's concerned?
The Republic hasn't opened yet. We're about 2 months behind the opening that was declared in London. But what we're looking at this morning is pretty much what has been defined as the nightmare scenario when things begin to open and get shut down quickly again. Willie Walsh, who was CEO of Aer Lingus and then of IAG and is now the Director General of IATA, would be the big aviation body, the FIFA of aviation, said in Dublin only last week that what could kill travel altogether is an opening and a sudden closure. As you say, we were expecting the London government to say there are places with very low levels of COVID, like the Balearic Islands, the Canaries, the Greek islands, all expected to be added. And when Portugal was taken away, just to give an idea of the impact of opening up Portugal, Ryanair's shares went up. Ryanair's entire network for across Europe was up 26% just on bookings on that corridor. People will know exactly what happened out of Belfast Airport, where you had a double daily EasyJet service down to Faro. It's one of the trunk routes for holidaymakers. That was full up. You could actually see the prices rise. Only 4 seats left in some of those aircraft. All of that is in ruins this morning. And as you said, people are despairing as to what the decision-making process for that is. There are 2 countries that matter, Portugal and Spain, and if Portugal is shut as quickly as it's opened, it does raise questions about Spain, which is opening on June the 7th.
So what would you advise people who are thinking still that they want to book a holiday this summer? Do you think they should be even considering it? Should they wait to the last minute? How do you work this whenever things can open and close so quickly?
The big question is where your money, how safe is your money when you make a booking and you run into a situation like this? We saw last summer the contract between the consumer and the holiday company, mainly the airlines, being breached. People got their money back, but it was an obstacle course, and it was hardship trying to get money back off, particularly some of the airlines. Now, when you're looking forward, it does look like the airlines and the holiday companies. I know that the travel industry is as angry as anyone this morning, and we're going to hear from that in a second. But what you will be asking is, if things go wrong and we have a sudden shutdown like this, how easy is it to get the money back? Am I going to be waiting 6 months? Am I going to be fighting? Am I going to be holding for 2 hours on a phone line? I do think that the airlines are better at it, but we need clear guidance that your money that you will have, first of all, have the option of opting out of a holiday that is no longer viable because of a country has gone to an amber list, and that your money will be returned quickly. That's the first question. When you're booking, am I going to get the money back should things change? It's a big breach of confidence, but I do think that having that consumer airline or consumer travel agent contract reinforced, now is a time to do it and make sure that we don't keep running into this situation, bouncing in and out of an amber list.
It's very worrying all round. Heather Fielding is with us, Managing Director at Gallagher Travel. Had you seen an upsurge in bookings for Portugal as soon as it went onto the green list, Heather?
Yeah, we definitely did, and the number of inquiries and everything had increased. Now, maybe it wasn't people travelling straight away, but making plans for later on in the summer, families making plans and things like that, and that's kind of just been shot now in the foot. People were they understand that they want to travel safely, they want to abide by the rules. There's a lot of testing involved, etc., extra expense with travelling this year, but people are prepared to do that. But
as you have spoken to people over the course of the last number of weeks and months, do you see a notable difference in terms of the willingness to go ahead and book a holiday for somewhere that's on a green list as opposed to an amber list? Or are a lot of people saying, you know what, if the circumstances allow it, I'm prepared to take that chance?
It's a bit of a mixed bag. I suppose for me, my job is I need to sell holidays. But before I even start selling a holiday, we have to go through, well, if you're going here, this is what you need to do. If you're going here, this is what we think you might need to do. Because a lot of it's guesswork at the minute. Because if people are booking for, say, September, October, we don't know what the rules and regulations will be then. You know, the situation is changing every day, and it's hard to give advice sometimes when we don't know. Like yesterday, for example, somebody came into the office. They knew their wedding was now going to go ahead, so they wanted to go on a honeymoon. We'd heard the rumours about Portugal, so we were telling, we don't think Portugal's going to be a go-to. So they're looking to go away in 3 weeks' time. I couldn't actually send them anywhere. So that's my shop's open, but I have nothing to sell anybody. That's the sad thing about it. So what we need now, we understand, as I said, travel has to be safe, and that's without question. But we were told that if a country was going to be moving from one traffic light to another, that we would be given at least a week's notice. That hasn't happened, so it's shot confidence in the foot. The confidence has been shot. So our industry has been decimated in the last 18 months, but we've had no sector-specific support at all. It seems as if now that Portugal's been taken off this list, travel's been curtailed so that things can get reopened properly from the 21st of June. That's understandable, but if that's the case, we need support now for the industry. Other industries have got support, but travel has yet to get any sector-specific support.
On the basis of what I mentioned earlier, Simon Calder, many of our listeners will know him. We have him on the programmes here on Radio Ulster regularly. And he wrote an article about this yesterday, respected travel journalist, and he put the title on his tweet, the 3rd of June 2021, the day the travel industry died, ? Now, if we look at that locally, Heather, 3-week reviews, 3 weeks from now takes us to about roughly, say, the 23rd, 24th of June. If things don't change, and there's, I'm sure you're probably not overly hopeful that they would change regarding Portugal and Spain. If you take 3 weeks then beyond that, you're well into the start of the July fortnight, the traditional time of year when a lot of people, early July, once the schools have shut, the normal term comes to an end, people head off. I mean, that is devastating, I'm sure, for you and the others in your industry, that, the most popular time of the year when people would look to head off, there's very little prospect of the two most popular destinations being back on the green list by then. Yeah.
The peak months are from May through to September, with July and August obviously being the ones, and that's where we make our money. We don't make money until people actually travel. So we've got yet another year, another peak season where there's been no travel, and it's this stop-starting that's the problem. We need clear and concise guidance with regards to this. But
if that doesn't change for that peak season, Heather, and you've already said that you feel you've been let down in terms of support, say you end up with another July, August like you've had last year, what happens to many in the industry, do you think?
What you're going to see in the industry is there is going to be massive redundancies, because furloughs supposedly be coming to an end. Now, we are fighting that furlough should be extended and should be for sector-specific industries such as travel and tourism, where we can't get up and running again. You don't expect hairdressers to open without being able to cut hair, to be able to do hair. I'm expected to stay open and run as normal without any support, but yet not able to trade, as in I can't send people away on holidays. So where's the rationale behind that? We need that support. We have been calling on support from the executive. We've been promised support, but it is yet to appear. But even the support that we were promised, it's nowhere near enough. We've seen other industries getting the support. We've seen the Eat Out to Help Out last year. We got nothing. We've got nothing at all. And that needs to be, it's all over England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland. There's been no support whatsoever.
Okay. Heather, I'm sure we'll come back to this. Nice to talk to you. Heather Fielding, Managing Director at Gallagher Travel, and Eoghan Corry, who's the